The Abolition Reform was one of the biggest reforms in our nation's history. Abolitionists are people who wanted to end slavery. Some thought it should only be in southern states, and then slavery would soon go away. Others thought it should be gone everywhere. The northern states banned slavery. Most slaves tried to escape to the north. In the southern states of the United States of America, thousands of African Americans were forced to slavery. The conditions ranged to be horrible to just bad. The major plantations owned at least 20 slaves. These slaves had the worst conditions. All of their basic rights were denied. They could be beaten maliciously if they did not cooperate with their owner. The best place a slave could be working would be for smaller farmers. They owned 1 to 2 slaves. The slaves got better food, and some may have learned to read. The leading way of escaping to the north was by going through the Underground Railroad. It wasn't underground or a railroad. It was a large group of abolitionists who secretly helped slaves reach freedom of the North. The abolitionists led them to hideouts where they could spend the night. Hundreds of slaves were led to freedom by going on the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and William Lloyd Garrison were the main abolitionists. Harriet Tubman was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She was a former slave herself. There was a $40,000 reward if she was caught, but it never happened. She made 19 trips to the South, freed over 300 slaves, including her parents. William Lloyd Garrison, a white man, was in charge of an anti-slavery newspaper. It started in 1831. Frederick Douglass is the best-known abolitionist. He was born in slavery and was able to teach himself how to read. In 1838, he escaped and went to Boston. He traveled throughout the U.S. and Britain teaching about slavery. In 1847, he started his own anti-slavery newspaper called the North Star. The Southerners were still able to defend slavery by saying the slaves were well-fed, well-clothed, and housed. They also said slavery in the farms was better than working indoors in a factory like the Northerners. They said slavery was also important for the country's economy.